Alright, now we're going to discuss how to actually place the characters we've created into Half-Life 2. First, we have XSI, the 3D modeling program we're using to create our models. Then we'll use Photoshop, an excellent program really important to help us texture our characters. And to be able to export our models from XSI, we're going to need a specific plugin from Valve. The plugin is free and is downloaded through the SDK. There are also a couple other plugins in Photoshop that we can use to export the textures directly without having to compile them. Once we have a 3D XSI model, we can export it using the Valve plugin so that it is later ready to compile with the SDK. Here, we're going to work with our textures. The Valve SDK contains all the required tools to compile our different assets and modify the game. This is what we're going to use to compile our models and textures. And from here we have two options. The first is to view the model in the model viewer. This is an application that comes with the SDK where we can see our models walking, running, shooting. We can see how the textures are applied and watch the various animations. It's very useful for checking to see if our model is actually ready for the game, or if we're going to have to go back to XSI or Photoshop to adjust anything. And here we're going to actually play within a level. It can be Half-Life 2, Deathmatch, Counter-Strike, Day of Defeat, any of the other Valve games. Alright, let's break down the process in detail. On one side, we have XSI, and on the other, we have Photoshop. With XSI, we will export an SMD file, then we'll create a set of instructions and a text file called a QC file. With these two files in hand, we can use the Studio Model program to export these 6 different pieces that will make up our compiled model. In Photoshop, we will create a TGA file, which can then be compiled using the vtex.exe program from the SDK to create a texture for the engine which our model is going to reference. I should also mention the triangle or polygon limits for the engine. In Half-Life 2, we have soldiers with about 4,600 polygons, police with around 3,800, the resistance with 49, zombies with 4,200, helicopters with 6,400, striders with 6,400, and Alex with the most, with about 8,200. So we can see that the characters generally made up about 4,000 polygons. Helicopters and vehicles have around 6,000, and characters with a lot of detail are made up of just about, a little over 8,000 polygons. The engine itself has a limit of about 25,000 polygons per model, and a limit of 2,048 pixels per model. However, if we're using the XSI 4.2 mod tool, we have a restriction of 7,500 triangles per character and 4,000 triangles for props and objects. In either case, this should be plenty.